Hello there, beautiful souls. I hope you guys are all having a great, blessed day. So something, since this blood moon is in the air, I've really taken accountability within myself and realized that because it runs in my family, correct? The first time I think must have been 6 or 7, a boy who obviously just saw what his parents were doing did it to me, so he humped me, right? And ever since that day, I have been completely addicted to it. I used my stuffed animals as a kid, and then it moved to just doing it myself, and then it moved into guys. And when you don't teach your children that addiction runs in your family, and it can run in all different forms. I've healed plenty, 111, of addictions, alcoholism, all of them. And the only one that was the hardest for me to get over is my sex addiction, because it resonates from childhood. When you have something in childhood, it's very much harder to get rid of it. Just like it's harder for me to stop drinking pop. Yeah, that's easy. That's like a light version of the same thing. I've drank it since I was a child, so it's hard for me to get rid of it, because anytime I drink one pop, I will always fall back into that circle, right? Until you become strong enough not to do that, right? So for me, I had to take accountability that, yes, maybe someone made a mistake, but it was also my doing that led to an addiction. It was my bloodline, my father's bloodline, to be exact, 222. And when we don't teach our kids that, we're not perfect. This is run in our family for generations, but we keep it behind closed doors or we don't talk about it, one person's gonna make it known, right? Just because I did everything in my early adult life or early middle school to high school years, doesn't mean that people didn't see it. It doesn't mean that I was any more special. I was just divinely protected, so I never had a kid because I went to the lowest of the lows. I met people that knew I was broken and used it, and I got to a point where there was no love. It was just a transaction. And when it became a transaction, I no longer cared. It no longer was filling anything other than a need to release. I need to release my pain. 333. That's how I learned to release my pain, was through, I don't know if you can say that word, masturbation, basically. So that's why I say I'm like a divine masculine, because at the end of the day, all men hold that. And this world is taught to teach men to view intimate relationships as this crazy one-night stand kind of ordeal. But if you're ever going to be with someone forever, it's not going to be like that. It's going to be a different type of love, a different type of being. But most people can understand that because you have to get through your own healing. You got to get through your own generational traumas. And to do that, you have to take accountability where you fucked up. Even if you were a child, you still had a part in your own doing, which led you to do things that caused years of 444, caused years of your own trauma because you caused it. But as a kid, you don't know what you're doing, so that's why I say it's up to parents to break the cycle and teach their children This is what runs in our family. This is why you don't do it. This is why one time can end up being 12 years of doing it. One time could end up being 18 years. Depending on how bad addiction runs in your family, you got to heal it first. I'm not saying alcohol is bad. I'm not saying these things are bad. What I'm saying is when you use it to deal with your emotional pain, it will never, ever fix anything. You will only prolong your healing process. The only way to truly heal is to give it all up and start allowing yourself to feel. When you repress everything, especially from generation to generation, you're creating a generation that doesn't feel, that's numb. That's the generation before me. They're all numb to their own pain that they've caused. 555. You end up living in your own delusions because it's easier that way. It's easier to be numb than to feel. And when a feeler comes in a bloodline and decides to heal it all, everybody's going to put up their defense. It is what it is because they weren't able to do it. And when someone younger is the one that comes to do it all, it makes a difference. It makes your ego come out. But the only way to deplete your ego is to take accountability. And when you take accountability, nothing will ever stop you because you took your part and you can see that everybody has a part to play. And when you do that, you understand the dynamic of it all. You understand that every person has a play. Even if I have a big role, doesn't mean the other people in my life that had small roles don't matter. Because at the end of the day, everyone matters. And everyone's story matters. And together, through generations, causes a healing effect. Every person made it easier in a way. Every generation. So it takes multiple generations, 717, that's my favorite angel number, to heal that, right? I'm the generation to feel. My son is the generation to learn a different way. And through his generation, we will completely heal our bloodline. But it's not only up to me, it's up to my son to also heal that. Not only my bloodline, but his father's bloodline. That's why when you don't become with two healers, you're always going to have a kid that has something to heal. Just because I did my work doesn't mean his side of his family did his work. And at the end of the day, if I don't help him work and do that work, he will have to suffer the same path, the same dark path. But I refuse. So I will heal his father and their bloodline. Because at the end of the day, I'm healing it for my son. So he doesn't have to do the hard work. He can live in light and love. Because I was always meant to be the one to take the darkness. That was my job. I hope you guys all have a great, blessed day.